The moment I realized my marriage was over, I was sharing a hospital bed with a homeless woman who had more dignity than my millionaire husband. I'm Claire, 34 weeks pregnant, lying in County General because my insurance only covered the basics. For 3 days, Marcus hadn't answered my calls. 3 days of excuses that never made sense. Then I saw it. An Instagram post. Marcus wasn't at a business dinner. He was at the Brookfield Hotel. When I called, a woman answered his room. "Marcus, baby, I thought you were bringing champagne." But here's what made my blood run cold. While I was sharing a hospital bed with a stranger, my husband had rented the entire presidential floor. $52,000 per month for 4 months straight, and that was just the beginning. Because what I discovered next didn't just end my marriage. It exposed a $1 million fraud scheme, revealed 4 other women, uncovered an attempted murder plot, led the FBI to recover almost $5 million, and sent him to federal prison for 8 years. But the real story, it's about what happened when Marcus showed up at my emergency C-section and denied our baby was his, what the homeless woman taught me about survival, and how I went from victim to victor in 72 hours. This is the story of Room 217, where everything fell apart, and where I finally found myself. The moment I realized my marriage was over, I was sharing a hospital bed curtain with a stranger who had more dignity than my millionaire husband. The curtain between us was thin, faded blue fabric that smelled like industrial disinfectant and something I could not quite name. Fear, maybe, or loneliness. County General Hospital, maternity ward, room 217. This was not how I had imagined spending the final weeks of my pregnancy. My name is Claire Bennett, 32 years old, 34 weeks pregnant, and lying in a shared hospital room because my insurance only covered the basics. The fluorescent lights overhead buzzed and flickered, on and off, drilling into my skull. My swollen feet hung off the edge of the too-short bed. The IV in my left hand dripped slowly, magnesium sulfate for the preeclampsia that had landed me here 3 days ago. 3 days of calling my husband Marcus. 3 days of voicemails. 3 days of excuses that never quite made sense. Behind the curtain, my roommate cried out, a low, animal sound of pain. "You okay over there?" The voice was rough, worn down by life, but still kind. "I'm fine," I said. My voice came out smaller than I intended. "You don't sound fine." The curtain rustled. A face appeared. Brown eyes, dark hair pulled back into a messy bun, maybe 40 years old, but hard to tell with exhaustion written across her features. "I'm Ruby," she said. "Claire, nice to meet you. Sorry about the noise. Contractions are getting worse. How far along are you?" 37 weeks. You? 34. They're trying to control my blood pressure. If they can't stabilize it, they'll deliver early. Ruby nodded like she understood everything I was not saying. "Your husband coming?" My throat tightened. "He's at a business dinner." The look Ruby gave me said everything. That look women share when they recognize the light underneath the words. "My baby's father isn't here either," Ruby said softly. "Left 2 years ago. Haven't seen him since." "I'm sorry." "Don't be. I'm better off." Ruby smiled, and it was genuine. "You will be too, eventually." Before I could respond, Ruby disappeared back behind the curtain. Another contraction, another cry. I picked up my phone. 5 missed calls, all from Diane, my best friend. None from Marcus. I dialed his number again. Straight to voicemail. Again. "Hey, it's me. Again. I really need you to call me back. The doctor says they might have to deliver early if my blood pressure does not stabilize. I'm scared, Marcus. Please call me." I hung up, stared at the phone, willed it to ring. It did not ring. Instead, a notification popped up. Instagram. Someone had tagged Marcus Bennett in a post. My finger hovered over the notification. I should not look. Looking meant not trusting. Looking meant being the paranoid wife, the jealous wife, the crazy wife. I looked. The photo showed a hotel lobby, marble floors, crystal chandeliers, a fountain in the center that probably cost more than most people's houses. The caption read, "Best stay ever at the Brookfield Hotel, living my best life." The Brookfield Hotel, downtown, 30 minutes away. Marcus was not at a restaurant. He was at a hotel. My heart hammered. The blood pressure monitor on my finger beeped a warning. The nurse would come soon, tell me to calm down, tell me stress was bad for the baby. I could not calm down. My fingers moved before my brain caught up. I opened the browser, searched for the Brookfield Hotel, found the contact number. The phone rang twice. A smooth, professional voice answered. The Brookfield Hotel, how may I assist you this evening? Hi, I'm trying to reach my husband, Marcus Bennett. I believe he's a guest there. A pause, keys clicking. Yes, Mr. Bennett is a guest with us. Would you like me to connect you to his room? The words felt like ice water down my spine. Guest, not attending a dinner, a guest. Actually, I said, my voice shaking now, can you tell me what room he's in? I need to send him something. I'm not able to give out room numbers, ma'am, but Mr. Bennett has reserved our presidential floor for the month. Would you like me to transfer you to the private line? The phone slipped from my hand, clattered against the bed rail, bounced, hit the floor, presidential floor, for the month. I bent down slowly, carefully. Everything in my body protested. I retrieved the phone. The call had disconnected. I did what I always did when the world tilted. Counted to 10. Breathed. Told myself there had to be an explanation, but my hands were shaking as I called the hotel back. Same smooth voice. The Brookfield Hotel, how may I assist you? I just called about Marcus Bennett. Can you transfer me to that private line, the presidential floor? Of course, one moment, please. Classical music, soft, expensive sounding. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3. A woman's voice answered, young, breathless, laughing. Marcus, baby, I thought you were bringing champagne. You've been on your laptop for an hour. My finger hit the end call button. The phone fell from my hand again. The blood pressure monitor screamed. Within seconds, the room filled with people. Dr. Helen Rutherford appeared first. 50-something, silver hair pulled into a tight bun, eyes that had seen everything and believed nothing. Claire, your pressure is 165/100. That's too high. Dr. Rutherford adjusted the IV, checked the monitors, pressed 2 fingers to my wrist to count my pulse. What happened? She asked. Nothing. Your body says otherwise. I'm fine. Dr. Rutherford pulled up a chair, sat down, made direct eye contact. I've been an obstetrician for 27 years. I can tell when a patient is lying. What happened? My eyes burned. Don't cry. Don't be that woman. Don't be weak. My husband, I whispered. He's not at a business dinner. Where is he? At a hotel. With someone else. I heard her voice. Dr. Rutherford's jaw tightened. I see. He rented the presidential floor for a month. I'm here in a shared room, and he rented an entire floor. The doctor stood, walked to the small window overlooking the parking lot. Orange streetlights cast shadows across her face. Claire, I need you to listen to me very carefully. Your blood pressure is dangerously high. If it goes higher, you could have a seizure. Your baby could be in distress. We might have to deliver tonight. Do you understand? I nodded. Do you have support, family, friends, anyone who can be here for you? Because right now, your body is in crisis. My phone buzzed. I grabbed it, hoping. Maybe Marcus. Maybe an explanation. A text from Diane. Girl, where are you? You're not answering. Getting worried. Not Marcus. Never Marcus. I have a friend, I said. Naomi. She'll come. Call her now. After the doctor left, I sat in the dark. The only light came from the monitors. Green glowing numbers, heartbeats, oxygen levels, blood pressure slowly decreasing as the medication worked. Ruby's voice drifted through the curtain. You still awake? Yes. I heard. I'm sorry. It's okay. No, it's not. Ruby's silhouette shifted behind the curtain. But you know what? You're stronger than you think. I can tell. You've got that strength that doesn't show until you need it. And you're gonna need it. I did not feel strong. I felt broken. But I opened my phone and texted Diane, Bahas. I need you. County General, room 217, please come. The response came immediately. On my way. Diane Brennan arrived at 4:30 in the morning, still wearing her courtroom suit from the previous day. Navy blue, perfectly tailored. immigration lawyer, partner at her firm by 33. She had driven straight from her office where she had been prepping for a deportation hearing. She took one look at my face and said, "What did he do?" Not what's wrong, not are you okay, just straight to the truth. That was Diane, always had been. We had met in college, roommates freshman year, best friends ever since. Diane had been my maid of honor, had given a beautiful toast about love and partnership and forever. She had also pulled me aside at the reception and whispered, "If he ever hurts you, call me. Anytime, day or night." I had laughed, said he wouldn't. Now, sitting in this shared hospital room, I wished I had listened to whatever Diane had seen that day. "He's cheating on me," I said. No build-up, just fact. Diane pulled the privacy curtain around my bed. Ruby was finally sleeping, soft snores from the other side. The woman had been in labor for 18 hours. "How do you know?" Diane asked. I handed her my phone. "Call the hotel, ask for Marcus Bennett's room." Diane dialed, waited. Her face remained neutral as she spoke. "Yes, I'm calling for Marcus Bennett. Can you connect me to his room?" A pause. "The entire presidential floor, I see. No, that's fine, thank you." She hung up. Set the phone down carefully, deliberately. "The entire presidential floor," she repeated. "For how much?" "I don't know yet, but I'm about to find out." I opened my laptop, the one I had brought for distraction, for watching shows during the long hospital hours. Instead, I pulled up our joint bank account, the one Marcus managed because he was better with money, the one I never checked because I trusted him. Trusted. Past tense now. The account loaded. I scrolled through 3 months of history, line by line, charge by charge. Diane leaned in, her eyes scanning like a lawyer looking for evidence. The Brookfield Hotel, $52,000. Monthly charge, 4 months in a row. $208,000 total. Tiffany and Company, $24,000. Bergdorf Goodman, $15,000. Nobu, Carbone, Per se, 8,000 plus in restaurant charges at each one. On and on. Page after page. Luxury after luxury. And then, my charges. Hospital parking, $15. Target prenatal vitamins, $12. Grocery outlet, $47. My total monthly spending, under $300. "Jesus Christ," Diane whispered. Ruby's voice came through the curtain. "Girl, I'm homeless, and even I know that math ain't mathing." Despite everything, I almost laughed. Almost. "How long has this been going on?" I asked. Diane scrolled back. 6 months, 9 months, a year. The pattern emerged like a constellation you only see once you know where to look. "At least a year," Diane said quietly. "Maybe longer." I felt something break inside me. Not my heart. That would come later. This was something deeper. The foundation of who I thought I was, who I thought we were. "Maybe there's an explanation," I heard myself say. "Maybe it's for clients, business expenses. I should not have looked. I should have just asked him first." "Claire, stop. I'm overreacting. Pregnancy hormones. The stress. I'm not thinking clearly." "Claire, listen to me." Diane grabbed both of my hands, held tight. "You are not crazy. You are not overreacting. The facts don't lie. Numbers can't gaslight you. He is spending your money on someone else while you're lying in a hospital bed carrying his child. That is not a misunderstanding. That is betrayal." The word hung between us. Heavy, true betrayal. I pulled my hands away, wrapped my arms around my belly, around the baby who kept kicking, who did not know yet that his father was a liar. What do I do? First, you take screenshots of everything. Email them to yourself, to me, multiple copies. He can't erase what's already documented. He would not erase anything. Are you sure about that? I was not sure about anything anymore. We spent the next hour documenting everything, every charge, every hotel stay, every restaurant. Diane created a spreadsheet, organized by date, by amount, by category. She was methodical, professional, the kind of friend who does not just sympathize, who acts. "Total spending on what appears to be affair-related expenses," Diane said, fingers flying across her laptop. $137,000 over the past year. The number did not feel real, too large, too impossible. And you're in a shared hospital room, and Diane continued, because your insurance is the cheapest HMO available, while he's renting entire hotel floors. He always said we needed to be smart with money, that his company was in a growth phase, that we should live below our means for now. Apparently his means and your means are very different. The sun started to rise. Orange light crept through the window. Nurses changed shifts. The hospital woke up. Carts rattled in hallways. Phones rang at nurses' stations. Life continued, indifferent to personal catastrophes. Diane stood, stretched. Her suit was wrinkled now, makeup faded, but her eyes were sharp. Alert, already planning. I need to make some calls, she said. Get some information. There's someone you should talk to. Who? A divorce attorney, best one I know, Tom Gallagher. He specializes in high-asset cases where one spouse has been hiding money. I don't know if I want a divorce. Diane's expression softened. I know, but you need to protect yourself and your baby. Even if you decide to work things out later, you need to know your options now, before Marcus realizes you know, before he has time to move money around. He wouldn't do that. Are you sure? No, I was not sure. The man who would rent hotel floors while his pregnant wife shared a hospital room, that man was capable of anything. Make the call, I said. Diane left to find better cell service. I sat alone. Well, not alone, though. Ruby was still there, breathing, sleeping. A stranger who somehow felt like an anchor. Proof that other people survived difficult things. That single mothers made it work. That the worst was not the end. My phone buzzed. Finally. Marcus. Hey, babe. Sorry I missed your calls. Phone died and I forgot my charger. Everything okay? 17 hours. It took him 17 hours to respond. I stared at the text, composed my response carefully. Every word mattered now. I'm fine. When are you coming to visit? The three dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Meetings all day, probably tonight. Love you. Love you. Two words that used to mean everything. Now they meant nothing. Worse than nothing. They meant lies. I did not respond. Instead, I opened Instagram. Found the account that had tagged Marcus. A young woman, 20-something. Beautiful, long dark hair, perfect makeup, designer clothes in every photo. And there, 3 photos back. Marcus's arm around her shoulders. The caption, best boss ever, so grateful for this amazing opportunity. Best boss. The profile said, Brooke Gallagher, executive assistant at Bennett Tech Solutions. Executive assistant. I clicked through every photo, looking for clues, looking for proof, looking for something to confirm what I already knew in my bones. There. A photo from 2 weeks ago. Brooke wearing a necklace. Delicate gold with a small diamond pendant. The caption, when your boss appreciates all your hard work, feeling blessed. I opened the bank statements again, searched, found it. Tiffany and Company, $2,800. 2 weeks ago, the necklace. He bought his assistant a $3,000 necklace while I had been wearing my grandmother's old engagement ring because he said we should save money. My hands shook, not from fear anymore, from rage, pure crystalline rage that started in my chest and spread like fire through every vein. The blood pressure monitor started beeping, loud, insistent. Diane rushed back in. Claire, breathe. You need to breathe. He bought her jewelry, Tiffany jewelry, while I've been wearing my grandmother's old ring because he said we should save money. I know, but you need to calm down. He's spending my money on his mistress and I'm supposed to calm down? The door opened. Dr. Rutherford and a nurse swarmed in, checked monitors, adjusted medication, spoke in low, urgent tones. Blood pressure is 175/105, the nurse said. Increase the mag, Dr. Rutherford ordered. Then to me, Claire, you need to rest. No stress, no phones, no laptops, nothing that elevates your pressure. I can't just lie here. You can and you will, unless you want to deliver today at 34 weeks with an underdeveloped baby who will spend weeks in the NICU. That got through. The image of my baby, too small, too early, struggling to breathe. I nodded, lay back, closed my eyes, but I could not unsee what I knew, could not unknow the truth. Behind my eyelids, numbers scrolled. Charges, hotels, jewelry, all adding up to one impossible fact. My husband had been living two lives, and I had been too trusting to see it. Ruby's voice drifted through the curtain, soft, knowing. You know what saved me when I finally left my ex? Anger. Not sadness, not fear. Anger. Anger gets you out of bed, makes you fight. Sadness makes you stay. Remember that. I remembered. Marcus arrived at 6 p.m., not 8 like he had promised. 6. 3 hours early, I was ready. Diane had gone home to shower and change, but would be back. Ruby was in labor again, nurses attending behind the curtain, and I was staring at the ceiling, counting tiles, trying not to think. But when Marcus walked through the door, carrying flowers, expensive roses, all the practice evaporated. He looked good. Damn him. $5,000 suit, hair perfectly styled, tan from a weekend he had claimed to spend at a tech conference, but had actually spent at the Brookfield with someone else. He looked rested, happy, comfortable, while I lay in a hospital bed, swollen and exhausted and betrayed. Hey, sweetheart, Marcus said. That voice, the one he used for clients, for charm, for manipulation. I brought you flowers. Thought they might brighten up this depressing room. He looked around, saw the shared space for the first time, wrinkled his nose. God, this place is terrible. Why didn't you ask for a private room? Insurance doesn't cover private rooms. It's like $20 a day. I would have paid the difference. $20. He was worried about $20 while spending $52,000 on a hotel suite. I said nothing, let the silence stretch, waited. Marcus set the flowers on the windowsill, pulled the chair close, reached for my hand. I moved it away, subtle but deliberate. His eyes narrowed, just for a second. Then the smile was back. You okay? You seem tense. I'm fine. Blood pressure doing better? It's been better. Good, that's good. He glanced at his watch. Expensive, new. I did not recognize it. Listen, I can't stay long. I have a dinner meeting at 8. But I wanted to check on you. Make sure you and the baby are okay. Here it was, the moment. I could let it go, pretend everything was fine, wait for tomorrow's meeting with the attorney Diane had found. Or I could confront him now. Get it over with. I had never been good at waiting. Where were you really last night? I asked. Kept my voice level, neutral, just asking a question. I told you, business dinner. At the Brookfield Hotel? Marcus's expression did not change, did not flicker. Perfect control. That's where the restaurant is, the new one on the top floor. Investors love it. You weren't at the restaurant, you were in a room, on the presidential floor. Now the mask slipped, just a fraction. How do you know that? Were you checking up on me? It's our joint account. I'm allowed to see the charges. That's my money, Claire. My company, my income. Your name is on the account as a courtesy. You don't get to interrogate me about how I spend it. The words hit like slaps. His money, courtesy, as if 6 years of marriage meant nothing. As if being pregnant with his child meant nothing. $52,000, I said, 1 month for an entire floor. It's for clients, for meetings. The company needs to impress people. Brooke Gallagher isn't a client. She's your assistant. Marcus stood, fast, towered over the bed, used his height, used his presence. Intimidation tactics I had never noticed before. Who told you that? I did not answer. Did someone come here? Who's been talking to you? It doesn't matter who told me. Is it true? You don't understand how business works. Sometimes you have to keep people happy, keep them close. Brooke has connections, relationships with potential investors. Her presence is valuable even if she's not in the office every day. She answered your phone last night, told you to come back to bed. Silence. Complete. Deafening. Marcus's face changed. The charm disappeared. What was left was cold, calculating. This was who he really was. You called my room. It's supposed to be our room, Marcus. We're married. You're paranoid. I heard her voice. You misheard. You're stressed. Pregnancy hormones make you irrational. There it was, the gaslighting, making me doubt my own senses, my own reality. I had done this 1,000 times before. Made myself smaller. Started apologizing. Felt crazy for even questioning him. But not this time. I'm not irrational, I said, voice steady, clear. I know what I heard. I know what I saw in the bank statements. I know everything. Marcus's expression shifted again, from denial to anger, pure undiluted rage. You had no right to go through my finances. There are finances. Nothing is ours. It's mine. I earned it. I built that company. You contributed nothing. Each word landed like a punch. This was what he really thought, how he really saw me, as nothing, as less than, as something that could be discarded. Ruby's voice cut through from behind the curtain. Don't listen to him. I've been homeless 3 years. I know a con artist when I hear one. Marcus's head whipped toward the curtain. Great. My pregnant wife is taking advice from... The door opened. Dr. Rutherford. Perfect timing. She took one look at Marcus's posture, my face, and her expression hardened. Mr. Bennett, step back from the patient. Now. I'm talking to my wife. You're intimidating a woman in medical crisis. Step back or I'll have security remove you. Marcus stepped back, but not far. His eyes stayed on me, angry, threatening. This isn't over, he said. Yes, I said, it is. Get out. Claire, get out before I have security remove you. He left, but at the door he turned back. One last shot. You'll regret this. You have no idea what you just started. Remember who pays for everything, who owns everything. You'll end up with nothing. And the door slammed behind him. My hands shook. The blood pressure monitor screamed. Dr. Rutherford and the nurse rushed in, checked vitals, adjusted medication, spoke in urgent tones. 175 over 110, the nurse said. Damn it, Dr. Rutherford muttered. She increased the IV flow. Claire, you need to calm down. He threatened me. I heard. I'll document everything. But right now, you need to breathe. Your baby's heart rate is elevated. We can't have you going into early labor. I breathed, counted, focused. Slowly, the numbers came down. My heart rate decreased. The baby's distress eased. After the medical team left, Ruby spoke again. You did good, standing up to him. Not backing down. That takes strength. I don't feel strong. I feel terrified. Weird. Strength and fear aren't opposites. Sometimes they're the same thing. You're scared because you're finally fighting. Fighting is scary. But you know what's scarier? Not fighting. Staying in a marriage with a man who talks to you like that. Ruby was right, but knowing and feeling were different things. Right now I felt small, powerless, like Marcus had said. Nothing. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. This is Tom Gallagher. Your friend Diane just called me. I'm looking at my calendar. I can be at County General in 40 minutes. Room 217, correct? How did you know my room number? Diane's thorough. I'll be there soon. Don't talk to your husband. Don't sign anything. Don't move any money yourself. Understand? I understand. Good, we're going to fix this. He hung up. I set the phone down. My hands were not shaking anymore. The rage had crystallized into something harder, colder, more useful, determination. Ruby's voice again, softer now, gentler. That's what I'm talking about. That's the anger I told you about. Hold on to that. You're going to need it. I would hold on to it, because Ruby was right. Sadness made you stay. Anger got you out the door, and I was done staying. Tom Gallagher arrived 38 minutes later, early 30s, sharp suit, sharper eyes, carrying a leather briefcase that probably cost more than my car. He took one look at the shared room and his jaw tightened. Mrs. Bennett, Claire, please. He pulled the chair close to my bed, sat, opened his briefcase, pulled out a legal pad and 3 pens, lined them up precisely, organized, methodical. Diane sent me everything she has so far. I've already started drafting emergency motions, but I need you to walk me through the timeline. When did you first suspect? Last night I saw a social media post. He was tagged at the Brookfield Hotel. The presidential floor, 52,000 a month. For how long? The statements only show 4 months, but I don't know before that. Tom made notes. Quick, efficient handwriting. We'll subpoena the full records. What else? I told him everything. The phone call, the woman's voice, the bank statements, the jewelry, Brooke Gallagher's Instagram profile, the confrontation tonight, Marcus's threats. Tom listened without interrupting. When I finished, he set down his pen. Okay, here's what we're dealing with. Your husband is having an affair with an employee. He's using marital assets to support that affair. And based on the Instagram profile showing her as his executive assistant, he may be using company funds as well. Did I miss anything? This morning, the hospital administrator came in, said my insurance was terminated. Marcus is the primary policyholder. He removed me from coverage. Tom's pen stopped midair. I'm sorry, what? He canceled my health insurance this morning after I confronted him about the bank statements. The temperature in the room dropped. Tom's expression went from professional to furious in half a second. You're 34 weeks pregnant with a high-risk condition and he canceled your health insurance. Yes, that's not just cruel, that's evidence. Perfect, damning evidence of financial abuse. Tom's pen flew across the page. Writing fast, organized lists forming. Emergency motion for temporary restraining order. Emergency motion for spousal support. Emergency motion for immediate insurance reinstatement. We're filing today. Today, is that possible? It is when a pregnant woman's insurance is canceled vindictively. Judge Margaret Sinclair handles emergency family law cases. She had a similar experience 30 years ago. Husband left her pregnant with twins. She doesn't forget. She doesn't forgive, and she doesn't tolerate financial abuse. Tom pulled out more papers. I need you to sign these. Retainer agreement, permission to access financial records, authorization to file on your behalf. I hesitated. Signing felt final, like crossing a bridge that would burn behind me. If you don't do this now, Tom said quietly, in 3 days he'll move more money, hide more assets. You'll spend years in court trying to track down accounts hidden in places with no cooperation treaties. Your son will be in college before you see a settlement. Is that what you want? No, that was not what I wanted. I signed. Tom gathered the papers, organized them, clipped them together. I'm going to file these within the hour. The hearing will likely be tomorrow morning. 10 a.m., Judge Sinclair's courtroom. Can you be there? I'm supposed to be on bed rest. This is more important. Bring your doctor if you can. The optics of you showing up in a hospital gown will help. Judges respond to visual evidence of neglect. That feels manipulative. It's true, isn't it? You're in a hospital bed. He's in a luxury hotel. That's not manipulation. That's reality. Tom stood, collected his briefcase. One more thing. Your husband will be served with papers this afternoon. He's going to call you. He's going to be angry, possibly threatening. Do not engage. Do not explain. Do not apologize. Every word you say can be used against you. Understand? I understand. Good. After Tom left, I sat in the quiet. Ruby was sleeping again, exhausted from labor. The contractions had slowed. Sometimes that happened. The body needed rest before the final push. I understood. My body needed rest too. My mind, my heart. But there was no time for rest. Not yet. There was a knock on the door. A man I had never met stood there. Mid-40s, receding hairline, expensive but not flashy suit. He looked uncomfortable. Claire Bennett? Yes. My name is Todd Fletcher. I'm Marcus's business partner. Can I come in? I should have said no, should have called Tom, asked what to do, but something in Todd's expression made me pause. He looked guilty. Come in. Todd entered slowly. Looked around at the shared room, the old equipment, the flickering lights. Something passed across his face. Disgust, anger, hard to tell. I shouldn't be here, he said. If Marcus finds out I came, I'm finished. What do you want? He sat in the chair, set a folder on the swinging table, would not meet my eyes. I have 3 daughters, 12, 14, and 16. I think about what I'm teaching them, about what kind of men I want them to marry or avoid. He finally looked up. I can't watch this anymore. Watch what? Marcus, Brooke, the lies, the money, all of it. Todd opened the folder, pulled out papers, spreadsheets, bank statements, but not personal. Corporate. Brooke Gallagher, on our payroll for 14 months. Title, executive assistant. Salary, $200,000 annually. That seems high for an assistant. It is. Want to know how many hours she's logged? How many actual tasks she's completed? How many meetings she's attended? I waited. 0. She's never worked a single day. Never answered a single email. Never attended a single meeting. Todd pulled out more papers. But she has a company credit card, company apartment, company car, all listed as business expenses, all tax deductible, all completely fraudulent. The word landed like a punch. Fraudulent. Marcus told me she was helping with client relations. There are no client relations. She's his mistress. Everyone on the board knows it. Well, 2 of us know it. The others suspect but don't want to rock the boat. The company's doing well. Why ask questions? You're on the board. You could stop it. I've tried. Marcus is the CEO. He has controlling shares. I can't overrule him without proof that harms the company. And technically, client relations is a legitimate business expense, even if there are no actual clients. Then why are you telling me this? Todd pulled out another stack. Different papers, offshore accounts, wire transfers. Because 3 days ago, Marcus started moving money, personal accounts into overseas holdings, Cayman Islands, Switzerland, places that are very difficult to access legally. Why would he do that? The company is about to be audited, standard procedure when you're growing fast. IRS wants to make sure everything's legitimate. When they look closely at Brooke's employment, they're going to have questions. Marcus knows this. Todd's expression was pity, pure pity. He's protecting his assets from the audit and from you. This is what people do before they file for divorce. They hide assets so the spouse can't get them in the settlement. The room tilted. I gripped the bed rail. He's going to divorce me. I don't know, but he's preparing for it, moving money where you can't reach it, where courts can't reach it, getting everything in order. Todd stood, left the folder. You need to file first, before he moves everything, before he has time to hide it all. You have maybe 72 hours. After that, tracking this money becomes nearly impossible. I'm pregnant. I'm in the hospital. How am I supposed to? That's why I brought you this. Evidence, documentation, everything your lawyer needs to freeze his accounts, to stop the transfers. But you have to act fast. He moved toward the door, stopped, turned back. Marcus was my friend. I wanted to believe he was just going through something. Midlife crisis, stress, whatever. But when he moved that money, when he started planning a trick to screw you over while you're lying here pregnant with his kid, that's when I knew. Todd's voice was quiet now, almost sad. He's not the person I thought he was. Maybe he never was. After Todd left, I sat in silence. The folder sat on the table. Evidence, proof. Betrayal documented in spreadsheets and wire transfers. Ruby's voice came through the curtain, strained, in pain. You get all that? You heard? Hard not to. Walls are thin, or curtains, whatever. A sharp intake of breath, another contraction. When it passed, Ruby spoke again. You're gonna do it. File for divorce. I don't know. Maybe there's an explanation. Maybe Todd's wrong about what Marcus is planning. You don't believe that? No, I did not believe that. But admitting it out loud felt like giving up, like acknowledging that the last 6 years had been a lie, that the man I married never existed, that I had been sleeping next to a stranger capable of this level of deception. My phone rang. Marcus. I stared at it. Let it ring 3 times. 4. I answered. Hey, babe, Marcus said. Cheerful, light, like nothing was wrong, like the world had not imploded. How are you feeling? Tired? Blood pressure okay? It's been better. Good, good. Listen, I'm going to try to stop by tonight. Probably around 8. I have back-to-back meetings until then. You need anything? Yes, I wanted to scream. I need you to be a different person. I need the last year to be a nightmare. I need you to not be renting hotel floors and buying jewelry for your assistant while I'm sharing a hospital room. I need you to not be hiding money in offshore accounts. I need you to not be planning to divorce me while I'm pregnant with your child. No, I said, I don't need anything. Okay, love you. Get some rest. He hung up before I could respond. I looked at the folder, looked at my phone, looked at my belly where my son was kicking. Strong, healthy, alive. Depending on me to make the right choice. I opened Tom's last text message and typed, I have more evidence, a lot more. Can you come back? The response came immediately. On my way. Tom returned within the hour. This time he brought a laptop and a forensic accountant named Patricia Chen. Patricia was 60-something, gray hair and a no-nonsense bob, reading glasses on a chain. She looked like someone's grandmother. She analyzed financial crimes for a living. They spread Todd's documents across my hospital bed tray. Patricia put on her glasses and started reading. Her expression never changed. Just professional assessment. After 10 minutes, she looked up. This is a prosecutable case, not just divorce court, federal prosecution, wire fraud, embezzlement, misappropriation of corporate funds. What does that mean? I asked. It means your husband isn't just cheating on you. He's stealing from his own company and using it to support his affair. That's a felony. Tom leaned forward. Patricia, can we use this in family court? You can use it to show financial misconduct. But the moment you file this evidence, you're also obligated to report it to the SEC. These are federal crimes. So if I use this to protect myself in the divorce, I said slowly, Marcus goes to prison. Potentially, yes, if the SEC investigates and finds evidence of fraud. The room felt smaller suddenly, closing in. I had wanted justice, wanted Marcus to face consequences. But prison? That felt like too much, too final. How long would he serve? I asked. Patricia consulted the documents again. Given the amounts involved, the systematic nature of the fraud, the use of offshore accounts to hide assets, 5 to 10 years, maybe more if they find additional crimes. 5 to 10 years. My son would be in elementary school. Middle school, would grow up with a father in federal prison. I need to think about this, I said. Tom nodded. That's fair. But Claire, you need to understand, whether you use this evidence or not, that audit is happening. The IRS is going to find Brooks' employment records. They're going to ask questions. This is coming out either way. The only question is whether you're protected when it does. He was right. I knew he was right. But knowing and accepting were different things. My phone buzzed, a text from Diane. Heard Tom came back. You okay? I typed, define okay. Fair. I'm coming back. Be there in 20. The blood pressure monitor beeped. 140/90. Not dangerous yet. But climbing. Dr. Rutherford appeared in the doorway. She looked at the papers spread across my bed, at Tom and Patricia, at my face. Everyone out. Now. Doctor, Tom started. I don't care. My patient's blood pressure is rising. You're leaving. Now. Tom and Patricia packed up quickly. Tom handed me a card before leaving. Call me when you decide, day or night. After they left, Dr. Rutherford sat down, checked my vitals manually. Pulse, blood pressure, listened to the baby's heartbeat. He's fine, she said, strong, healthy, but you're not. Your body is under too much stress. I don't have a choice. I have to deal with this. You have a choice about timing. Whatever decisions you're making, they can wait 24 hours. They can wait until we get your pressure stabilized. They can wait until you're not at risk of having a stroke. She was right. Again. I'll rest, I said. I promise. Good. I'm putting a sign on your door. No visitors except medical staff and your friend Diane. Everyone else can wait. After she left, I lay back, closed my eyes, tried to sleep, but my mind would not stop. Marcus was stealing from his company, using corporate money to fund an affair, moving assets offshore to hide them from me and from the IRS. And I was the only one who could stop him. The only one who could protect our son from inheriting a father's criminal legacy. I must have slept. Because when I woke, it was dark. The only light came from the monitors. Ruby was awake. I could hear her breathing. Fast, shallow. "You okay?" I asked. "Contractions. Really close now. Nurse says it's time." "You scared?" "Terrified, but ready. You know what I mean?" I did know. Terrified, but ready. That described everything. The nurses came for Ruby 20 minutes later. Wheeled her out. She reached through the curtain as they passed, squeezed my hand. "You're going to be fine," she said. "Both of us are." Then she was gone. I was alone. Completely, utterly alone. My phone buzzed. "Marcus. Babe, I can't make it tonight. Something came up at work. I'll come tomorrow. Promise. Love you." Something came up at work. Sure. Something named Brooke. I did not respond. Instead, I picked up Todd's folder. Read through every page. Slowly. Carefully. The evidence was damning. Irrefutable. Marcus had systematically stolen from his company for over a year, hidden the money, used it to support his affair. This was not a mistake, not a midlife crisis, not stress. This was calculated, planned, deliberate. And I had a choice. I could use this evidence, protect myself and my son, but send Marcus to prison. Or I could stay silent, let the audit happen naturally, but risk losing everything in the meantime. There was a third option, one I had not considered until now. I could warn him, give him a chance to make it right, return the money, end the affair, be the husband and father he should have been all along. But that meant trusting him again. And trust, once broken, is almost impossible to rebuild. I was still thinking when the pain started, sharp, low in my belly, different from the usual pregnancy discomfort. The blood pressure monitor started screaming. I reached for the call button. Everything happened fast after that. Dr. Rutherford, nurses, urgent voices, hands checking, adjusting, preparing. "Your blood pressure is 190 over 115, someone said. "We need to deliver now." "But I'm only 34 weeks. "The baby's in distress. We can't wait." They wheeled me fast. Hallways blurred, fluorescent lights strobed past. Diane appeared from somewhere, running alongside. "I'm here. I'm right here." We burst through double doors into the operating room. Bright lights, cold air, the smell of antiseptic. Terror crystallized into clarity. This was it. My son would be born in minutes. And then Marcus appeared. He came out of nowhere, blocked the gurney's path. Security was there, but not fast enough. Marcus's hands gripped the rails. "You're not taking my son," he said. "Sir, step aside. This is a medical emergency." Dr. Rutherford's voice was steel. She manipulated the judge, lied about everything. "I want a paternity test before my name goes on any birth certificate." The words were knives, each one sharper than the last. I found words I did not know I had. "You canceled my insurance, tried to hide our money, and now you want a paternity test?" I laughed. It hurt. Everything hurt. "Test him. Test the baby. Test the DNA. While you're at it, test your girlfriend for basic human decency." Security moved Marcus aside. He fought, shouted, "You'll get nothing. Nothing. That's my company. My money." The operating room doors closed. Cut off his words. Cut off his voice. Silence. Blessed silence. Dr. Rutherford appeared above my face, behind a surgical mask, but her eyes were kind. "Let's meet your baby." The surgery happened fast. I felt tugging, pressure, no pain, just sensation. Distant, like it was happening to someone else's body. And then a sound, the best sound, a baby crying. "He's here," Dr. Rutherford said. "He's perfect." They lifted him up over the curtain, just for a second, long enough for me to see. Wrinkled, red, furious at being evicted. Perfect, absolutely perfect. "Hi, baby," I whispered. "Hi, Owen. I'm your mom." They took him to be cleaned, measured, checked. I lay on the table while they stitched me back together, layer by layer, skin, muscle, all the parts that had been opened to bring him into the world. Diane appeared beside me, tears streaming. He's beautiful. He's so beautiful. Is he okay? He's perfect. 6 pounds, 4 ounces, 18 inches. All fingers and toes accounted for. Breathing on his own. Everything looks good. They wheeled me to recovery, brought Owen to me, placed him on my chest, skin to skin. He rooted immediately, found my breast, latched, nursed like he had been doing it forever. Look at him go, the nurse said. Natural-born eater. I looked down at my son. My son. The word felt strange and right. This tiny person who depended on me for everything. Who would grow up knowing his father tried to deny his existence? Who would have questions I did not know how to answer yet? But right now, none of that mattered. Right now, he was here, safe, healthy, alive. I promise you something, I whispered, so only Owen could hear. You will never wonder if you are loved. You will never be used as a weapon. You will know what it means to be protected. I don't know how I'm going to do this alone, but I'll figure it out. For you. Owen's eyes drifted closed. Milk drunk, content, trusting. My phone buzzed. Tom. Heard about the delivery. Congratulations. Also, Marcus was just arrested for violating the restraining order and attempting to interfere with medical care. He's spending the night in county jail. Sleep well. I did sleep well. For the first time in months, I slept without fear. I woke to Owen crying, that newborn cry that sounds like the world is ending. The night nurse helped me sit up, positioned pillows, helped Owen latch. You're doing great, she said. Most first-time moms struggle more than this. My body knows what to do, even if my brain doesn't. She laughed. That's exactly right. Trust your instincts. After Owen finished nursing, I just held him, stared at his face, memorized every feature, his nose, his chin, his tiny fingers that wrapped around mine with surprising strength. The door opened quietly. Diane entered, carrying coffee and what smelled like real breakfast. Hospital cafeteria was closed. Went to that diner you like. Pancakes, bacon, real maple syrup. You're a saint. I'm a friend who knows you haven't eaten real food in 3 days. We ate in comfortable silence. Owen slept in the bassinet beside my bed, perfect and oblivious to the chaos around him. Tom called me this morning, Diane said finally. The hearing is at 10 a.m. Judge Sinclair, emergency session. Can I even go? I just had surgery. Dr. Rutherford already approved it. She's coming with us. Says she wants to testify about Marcus's behavior, the insurance cancellation, the medical interference, and the other evidence, Todd's documents. Diane set down her coffee, looked at me directly. That's your decision. Tom can present just the personal stuff, the affair, the spending, the insurance. That's enough for custody and support. Or he can present everything, the corporate fraud, the offshore accounts. But Claire, you need to understand what that means. Prison. Yes, federal prison, 5 to 10 years, maybe more. I looked at Owen, sleeping peacefully, unaware that his mother was deciding his father's fate. What would you do? I asked. Diane thought for a long time before answering. Honestly, I'd burn it all down. He tried to have you committed so he could steal your inheritance. He denied his own son. He interfered with emergency medical care. That's not a good person having a bad moment. That's a dangerous person showing you who they really are. She was right. I knew she was right. But it still felt like too much power, too much responsibility. I need to see him, I said. Marcus, before the hearing, I need to talk to him one more time. That's a terrible idea. Probably, but I need to. Diane made a phone call. Arrangements were made. Marcus was still in county jail. They could bring him to a private conference room at the courthouse. Before the hearing, supervised meeting. We arrived at the courthouse at 9 a.m. I was still in a hospital gown under the coat Diane had brought. Still had an IV line in my arm, though disconnected from the drip. Dr. Rutherford pushed my wheelchair. The visual was deliberate, strategic, and also completely true. I was a woman who had given birth less than 24 hours ago, still recovering, still vulnerable, and I was here fighting for my son. They brought Marcus in at 9:15. He was in an orange jumpsuit, handcuffed. He looked tired, angry, but mostly shocked, like he had not really believed this would happen. The guard chained his cuffs to the table, stood by the door. Diane and Dr. Rutherford waited in the hallway. It was just Marcus and me. He spoke first. "Claire, this is insane. You're going to destroy everything. My company, my reputation, our future." "Our future?" I almost laughed. "You were planning to divorce me. You moved money offshore so I couldn't access it. You hired a woman you're sleeping with and paid her $200,000 a year to do nothing. You stole from your own company." "I didn't steal. I made business decisions. You committed fraud. It's more complicated than that." "No," I said, voice steady now, clear. "It's actually very simple. You lied, you cheated, you stole. And when I found out, you tried to gaslight me into thinking I was crazy." Marcus leaned forward as far as the chains allowed. "If you present that evidence in court, I go to prison. Is that what you want? Our son grows up without a father?" "Our son already doesn't have a father. He has a sperm donor who denied his paternity during emergency surgery." I was upset. I wasn't thinking clearly. "You've been not thinking clearly for over a year? Because that's how long this has been going on." Silence. Marcus looked at his hands, at the chains, at anything but me. "What do you want?" he asked finally. "I want you to tell me the truth, just once, no lies, no manipulation, no gaslighting, just truth." "About what?" "Everything. When did it start? Why? Did you ever actually love me?" Marcus was quiet for a long time. When he spoke, his voice was different, smaller, almost honest. "I did love you at the beginning. You were different from the women I usually dated. Genuine, kind, not interested in my money." "When did that change?" "I don't know. Gradually. You wanted me to slow down, spend less time at work, start a family, and I felt like I was suffocating." "So you had an affair?" "I met Brooke at a conference. She was exciting, new. She wanted the same things I did. Success, luxury, ambition. And I was boring. You were settled, content with normal. I wanted more." There it was, the truth. Simple and devastating. I was not enough. Had never been enough. Would never have been enough. "What about the money?" I asked. "The corporate fraud?" Marcus shifted, uncomfortable now. "That started as a way to keep Brooke close, pay her a salary so she'd move here. Then it just became easier to use company funds, less traceable than personal accounts. Until the audit." "Yes." "So you moved money offshore to hide it from the IRS and from me." "I was protecting assets. That's smart business." "It's a felony." Marcus looked at me then, really looked at me, and I saw something I had never seen before. Fear. "Are you going to use Todd's evidence?" he asked. "I don't know." "Claire, please think about Owen. He needs a father. He needs a father who isn't a criminal, who doesn't lie, who doesn't steal, who doesn't try to destroy his mother when she discovers the truth." "I'm sorry, I am. I made mistakes." "Mistakes, Marcus? You tried to have me committed. You planned to steal my inheritance. You denied your own son. Those aren't mistakes. Those are choices, deliberate, calculated choices." Marcus's expression hardened. The fear disappeared. What replaced it was anger. "If you do this, you'll regret it. I'll fight you on everything. Custody, support, division of assets. I'll make your life hell." And there it was, the real Marcus. Not sorry, not repentant, just angry he got caught. "You already made my life hell," I said. "The difference is now I'm fighting back." I stood up, carefully, still sore from surgery, but I stood. "See you in court." I left him there, chained to the table, alone. Diane was waiting in the hallway. "Well?" "Present everything, all of it, the affair, the fraud, the offshore accounts, everything." "You're sure?" "I'm sure." We walked to the courtroom. Dr. Rutherford pushed my wheelchair. Owen was with a nurse in a private room nearby. Safe, protected. Judge Margaret Sinclair's courtroom was already full. Marcus's lawyer, Preston Ward, was there, looking confident in his $4,000 suit. Tom Gallagher sat at our table. He had more documents now, organized, ready. Judge Sinclair entered. Everyone stood, except me. I stayed in the wheelchair. She looked at me. At the hospital gown, at the IV line still in my arm. Her expression was unreadable. "Let's begin," she said. The hearing lasted 3 hours. Tom presented everything: the bank statements showing luxury spending, the hotel receipts, the jewelry purchases, Brooke Gallagher's employment records showing zero work performed. Then he presented Todd's evidence: the offshore accounts, the wire transfers, the systematic theft from Bennett Tech Solutions. Preston Ward objected repeatedly. Judge Sinclair overruled him every time. Dr. Rutherford testified about the insurance cancellation, about Marcus interfering with emergency surgery, about the risk to both me and Owen. "In my 27 years as an obstetrician," she said, "I have never seen such callous disregard for a pregnant woman's health and safety. The insurance cancellation alone could have killed both mother and baby." Preston tried to paint me as vindictive, emotionally unstable, motivated by revenge. "My client is a successful businessman," he said. "He works long hours. Yes, he made some personal mistakes, but that doesn't make him a criminal." "He embezzled over $1 million from his own company," Tom said. "That's not a personal mistake. That's a federal crime." The judge called a recess. We waited in a conference room. Diane paced. Tom reviewed his notes. I nursed Owen and tried not to think about what came next. After 30 minutes, we were called back. Judge Sinclair looked tired, angry. She had been reading through documents during the recess. "I've reviewed all the evidence presented," she said. "Mr. Bennett, stand up." Marcus stood, Preston beside him. "Did you rent the presidential floor at the Brookfield Hotel for $52,000 per month?" "Yes, but..." "Did you employ a woman named Brooke Gallagher as an executive assistant, paying her $200,000 annually while she performed no actual work?" "She had valuable connections." "Yes or no, Mr. Bennett?" "Yes." "Did you open offshore accounts and transfer over $1 million 3 days ago?" Preston whispered to Marcus. Marcus hesitated. "Yes." "And did you cancel your wife's health insurance yesterday while she was 34 weeks pregnant with a high-risk condition?" "It was a misunderstanding. Yes or no, sir?" "Yes." Judge Sinclair made notes. The scratching of her pen was the only sound in the courtroom. "Here's my ruling. Full custody to Mrs. Bennett. Mr. Bennett will have supervised visitation only, 2 hours twice per week, no overnight visits until the child is at least 2 years old, at which point we'll revisit based on Mr. Bennett's behavior and involvement." Marcus started to object. Preston put a hand on his arm. "All marital assets are frozen pending full discovery. Mr. Bennett will pay temporary spousal support of $15,000 per month. Health insurance will be reinstated immediately, with Mr. Bennett responsible for all medical costs related to the pregnancy and delivery." She paused, looked directly at Marcus. "Additionally, I am obligated to report the evidence of corporate fraud to the Securities and Exchange Commission. They will conduct their own investigation. Mr. Bennett, I strongly suggest you retain criminal counsel." Preston's face went pale. Marcus looked like he might be sick. "We're adjourned." Outside the courthouse, I sat in the wheelchair holding Owen. Diane stood beside me. Tom was on the phone with someone, probably his office. "You did it," Diane said. "You won." But it did not feel like winning. It felt like surviving, like barely making it through. Marcus appeared at the courthouse exit with Brooke. She had been sitting in the back of the courtroom. I had not noticed until now. They were arguing, voices rising, people staring. "You said this wouldn't happen," Brooke said. "You said you had everything under control." "I did have it under control until she..." "Until she what? Found out you were stealing? Using me as a tax deduction? Making me an accessory to fraud?" "Brooke, calm down." "Don't tell me to calm down. I could go to prison too." "You won't. You didn't know anything." "I knew enough, and now everyone else does too." Brooke turned, saw me watching, walked over. I tensed. Diane moved closer, protective. But Brooke did not look angry. She looked tired. scared. "I'm sorry," she said. "I didn't know you existed." He showed me divorce papers, said his ex-wife was crazy, that she was trying to ruin him financially. I believed him. "He's very convincing," I said. 2 days ago, I saw the court documents online. Your name, emergency hearing, pregnant wife. I've been sleeping with a married man, living in an apartment he paid for with stolen money, wearing jewelry that should have been yours. Why are you telling me this?" Brooke pulled an envelope from her purse, handed it to me. "Everything he told me, everything we did, dated, witnessed, for your lawyer." Marcus appeared behind her, grabbed her arm. "What are you doing?" "I'm done." Burlek pulled away. "I'm not going to prison for you. I'm not going to lie to federal investigators to protect you. I'm out." "You can't just watch me." Brooke walked away, just left him standing there, exposed, abandoned by his accomplice. Marcus looked at me, that rage again, that entitlement. "This is your fault, all of it. If you had just stayed quiet, just accepted things, none of this would have happened." "You're right," I said. "If I had stayed quiet, you'd still be stealing, still lying, still making me feel crazy for questioning you. So yes, this is my fault. I finally stood up for myself. I finally fought back, and I won." Security was approaching. Marcus saw them, started backing away. "This isn't over," he said. "Yes," I said, "it is." They escorted him off the courthouse steps. He was shouting, threatening appeals, threatening lawsuits. His voice echoed and faded. I opened the envelope Brooke had given me, read the first page, detailed account of every lie Marcus told her, every expense he paid with company money, every hotel stay, every dinner, every gift, and all else documented, dated, witnessed. "This is devastating," Tom said, reading over my shoulder. "With this and Todd's financial records, the SEC case is airtight. Marcus is going to prison." "How long?" 5 to 8 years, maybe more if they find additional crimes. 5 to 8 years. Owen would be in elementary school, would have questions about his father, would need answers I still did not know how to give. But that was a problem for future Claire. Right now, present Claire had won, had protected her son, had stood up for herself when it mattered most. "Let's go home," I said. Fall arrived early that year. By October, the leaves were already turning, orange and gold against a bright blue sky. I pushed Owen's stroller through the park near our new apartment. It was smaller than the house I had shared with Marcus. 2 bedrooms, modest, but it was mine, paid for with the temporary spousal support Judge Sinclair had ordered. Owen was 6 months old now, sitting up, babbling, reaching for everything, growing so fast. Diane walked beside me, carrying coffee from the shop on the corner. "How's work?" she asked. "Good, really good. We got the grant approved. $2 million for homeless outreach and transitional housing. We're expanding to 3 new cities." "That's incredible." "And guess who I hired as our new LA coordinator?" "Who?" "Ruby. Remember Ruby? From the hospital?" Diane's face lit up. "That's perfect. How's she doing?" "Amazing. She got approved for permanent housing, 2-bedroom apartment in a rent-controlled building. She's taking night classes at community college too. Business administration. Says she wants to run her own nonprofit someday." "She will." We walked in comfortable silence. Owen made happy sounds at the birds, at the bees, at the world around him. "You ever hear from Marcus?" Diane asked. "Through lawyers only. The SEC investigation is ongoing. Looks like he's pleading guilty to avoid trial. His attorney's trying to negotiate down from 8 years to 5. And Brooke? Disappeared. Witness protection, maybe. Or just disappeared. Nobody knows." We found a bench, sat, watched Owen try to grab his own feet through the stroller straps. "Can I ask you something?" Diane said. "Do you regret it? Presenting all that evidence? Sending him to prison?" I thought about it. Really thought. "No," I said finally. "He made his choices. I just made sure he faced the consequences. That's not revenge. That's accountability." "You ever think about dating?" I laughed. "God, no. I'm barely managing single parenthood and a full-time job. When would I even have time?" "Eventually. Someday. Maybe. When Owen's older. when I've healed more, when I trust my own judgment again. You will. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Hi, Claire. This is Patricia Chen, Tom Gallagher's forensic accountant. The Victim Compensation Fund was approved. You'll be receiving $1.7 million. Your lawyer will have all the details next week. Congratulations. I stared at the number. $1.7 million. Financial security. Forever. No more worrying about rent, about childcare costs, about what would happen if I lost my job. Freedom. Real freedom. What is it? Diane asked. I showed her the text. Holy shit, she said. Claire, that's life-changing money. I know. What are you going to do with it? I don't know. Save most of it for Owen's future. Maybe buy a house, a small one, something that's really ours. Owen started fussing, hungry, always hungry at this age. I picked him up, held him close. He immediately started rooting, looking for food. Hang on, buddy. Let's get somewhere more comfortable. We walked back to my apartment. Diane came up, helped me get settled on the couch with Owen nursing. You know what's wild? Diane said. 6 months ago, you were in a hospital bed, sharing a room with a stranger, thinking your life was over. And now look at you. New job you love, beautiful baby, financial security. You did this. You survived and built something better. She was right. I had survived, had fought, had won. But more than that, I had found myself, the person I was always supposed to be. Strong, independent, unafraid. The prison door had been unlocked all along. I had just needed to be brave enough to walk through it. After Diane left, I sat with Owen as evening fell. He had fallen asleep nursing, his little face peaceful, trusting. You know what I learned, baby boy? I whispered. People will tell you that suffering makes you stronger, that trauma builds character, that what doesn't kill you makes you better. That's garbage. I looked out the window. The city lights were starting to come on, Los Angeles stretching endlessly. You know what really makes you stronger? Choosing to survive, choosing to fight, choosing yourself even when everyone says you should choose someone else, even when society says marriage is sacred and divorce is failure. Choosing yourself anyway. That's strength. Owen stirred, settled, kept sleeping. Your father thought money made him powerful, but here's what he never understood. Real power isn't money. Money helps. Money provides security and options. But real power is knowing your worth isn't negotiable. Knowing you deserve basic respect and honesty and kindness. Real power is walking away from anyone who treats you like you're less than. I stood carefully, walked to Owen's nursery, laid him in his crib. He grabbed his little stuffed elephant, the one Ruby had given him, held it close. I won't lie to you, single motherhood is hard. Some days I'm exhausted. Some days I'm scared. Some days I look at everything I need to do and I want to cry. Some days I do cry. I touched his soft hair, felt him breathe. But every single day I'm free, and that's worth everything I lost. Everything I'll never have. Every fairy tale ending I thought I wanted, because I have something better. I have myself back. I have you. I have a life that's mine. I walked back to my room, climbed into bed. The sheets were cool, the pillows soft. The bed was empty, but not lonely. I had learned the difference. Loneliness was feeling alone even when someone was there. What I had now was solitude, chosen, peaceful, full of possibility. As sleep came, my last thought was this. The woman in the shared hospital bed felt like someone from another life, someone I barely recognized. That woman had been afraid, uncertain, apologetic for existing. This woman was not afraid anymore. She was free, and freedom was the only victory that truly mattered. 3 weeks after the victim compensation notification, I received a call from Tom. The SE's investigation concluded, he said. Marcus is pleading guilty. Sentencing is scheduled for next month. What's the recommended sentence? 8 years federal prison, wire fraud, embezzlement, misappropriation of corporate funds. The judge was not sympathetic. Is he asking me to write a victim impact statement? Actually, yes, the prosecutor thinks it would be powerful, coming from you, about how his actions affected you and Owen. I thought about standing in front of a judge, describing the betrayal, the gaslighting, the medical endangerment. I'll do it, I said. The sentencing hearing was scheduled for November 15th, a cold Tuesday morning, rain threatening but not yet falling. I dressed carefully, professional but not expensive. I wanted to look like myself. Diane came with me. Tom met us at the courthouse. Marcus's family is here, Tom warned. His mother, his sister, they might try to approach you. Let them. We entered the courtroom. Marcus was already there. He looked older, thinner. Prison orange did not suit him. He saw me. Our eyes met. I saw something there I had not seen before. Shame. Maybe. Or maybe I was just seeing what I wanted to see. The judge entered. Everyone stood. Judge Richard Morrison, federal court, no-nonsense reputation. United States versus Marcus Bennett, the judge said. Mr. Bennett, you've entered a guilty plea to multiple counts of wire fraud and embezzlement. Is that correct? Yes, Your Honor. Before I issue sentencing, I'm going to hear from the victims. First, Claire Bennett. I walked to the podium. My hands shook slightly. I steadied them. Read from the statement I had written and rewritten a dozen times. 6 months ago, I was lying in a hospital bed, 34 weeks pregnant with a high-risk condition. I was sharing a room with a homeless woman because my insurance only covered the basics. Meanwhile, my husband had rented an entire floor at a luxury hotel for $52,000 per month to support his affair. I looked up. Marcus was staring at the table. When I discovered his infidelity, he did not apologize. He canceled my health insurance. While I was pregnant, he moved money offshore so I could not access it. During my emergency cesarean section, he appeared at the operating room doors and demanded a paternity test. He denied his own son. My voice was steady now, strong. Marcus Bennett is not just a man who made mistakes. He is a man who systematically lied, stole, and manipulated everyone around him. His business partners, his investors, his wife, even his mistress. He is a danger to anyone who trusts him. I folded my statement. I don't say this out of anger. I say it because it's true, and because his son deserves to grow up knowing that